Hey guys, I just wanted to thank everybody today. This is our last episode for the season. We're going to start a brand new season. We've come a long way. I hope you guys get a chance to go back and look at some of the early stuff versus some of the newer stuff. It's totally awesome. Um, but the thing that really keeps us going is videos like today, where we're talking about listening to people's concepts on what you would do if you had Jeff Bezos money. I'm not sure that if you guys are listening to the very end of our podcast, but we have these speed round that's been super popular for some, and I know some of you aren't getting there. But here's a little taste of the speed round. Is what would you do if you had Jeff Bezos money? Now you're going to find out why it's so easy to do these videos. Now you're going to find out why we love talking to these people. They're amazing. Okay, all this wonderful concept. Jeff Bezos money, Out Loud podcast, the end of season 1, season finale. Thanks. If you had Jeff Bezos money, what would you do to make this world better, or your community better, or your family better? Or what would you do with that loot?
Wow.
Because he ain't doing anything with it except counting it. So
Yeah. Well, he's doing something with it.
alimony.
I would work on kids programs. I would do a lot of stuff with kids to try and give every kid the opportunity to be able to do what they wanted to do, and whether it was sports or sciences or whatever. I think, and I'd probably buy out Instagram and TikTok, and I would disband them, and I would destroy them.
That's awesome.
I think, the thing that breaks my heart and it drives me crazy is the homeless, man. I mean, I see every day when I'm driving to school, man, somebody sleeping on the side of the road, or a woman, or kids. I mean, it breaks my heart. I'm thinking, geez, how do they do it? I mean, if I had a shitload of money like that, I think I would help some. I would help people, do that. It's sad to me.
Yeah.
I mean, and everybody has a story, man. You always think to yourself, how did they get to that point? How'd they get there?
Yeah. Al, I was in Long Beach, 1993, and Rocky Blyer was sitting on the curb next to the bar I was in. I came out of the bar, and there's the Super Bowl champion, Vietnam veteran, Purple Heart, homeless. Can you imagine that?
No, it's wrong.
And we're talking about, I mean, I don't want to get political, but I mean, we're talking about a significant portion of these homeless people maybe are veterans, maybe served the country. I mean, that's
mental illness and our veterans. That's sad.
Oh my gosh.
I know a lot of people.
The money would go into obviously, I mean, right now with pop, I mean, you look around, I don't know if you guys have noticed how the homeless rate has just skyrocketed. I see homeless everywhere, man. And it's like, we live in the greatest country in the world, although we are in a pandemic. And I just feel like we could do better for our people. We are always helping other countries out, bailing them out, this and that. And I'm all for that. I mean, I don't discriminate against helping others, but when we can't help our own and we leave them to the streets, I mean, and then it creates crime. You have homeless that are desperate. They're breaking into homes, they're stealing things, and because out of this, it's like it's survival, man. I mean, you can't really blame them. I see homeless still, breaking into homes. I hear the crime with that, and how can you blame somebody that has to eat out of a dumpster every day? I mean, it's survival for them. And so, if we were in the wild, I mean, it would be even worse. So. I would invest it back into the community, into the homeless, into education, stuff like that, man. I mean, yeah.
Where should the money go?
I would really give it back to the community. I think, if I had all the money in the world, I would set up, community policing oriented, centers, throughout, North America, and name them different officers that have given up the ultimate sacrifice, and call them, the different centers, and just get back. I think that disconnect with the community is lost, and needs to be gained back, and that respect needs to come back. It just needs to be there to make all of our communities safe throughout the world.
you had one of those questions that if I had Bezos' money, right? Like, what would I do with it? And here's what another sort of fundamental issue with our country is: why do teachers got to pay for their own supplies? Like, we need to reform our education system. Yeah. Like, my sister's a teacher. I'm like, if we're the greatest country in the world, our teachers should not be buying, pens, pencils, etc. for their classrooms. If I had that money, exactly. If I had that type of money, I would say, you know what? We're going to make sure every student has the same opportunity, same environment, same sort of resources that like the kid in Beverly Hills has, right? Yeah. And think about what that would do for our country in terms of just innovation, new companies, like 100% of the population really hey, we're smart, we're doing all these cool things. Right. Like, you wouldn't have to pay for all the other stuff we're paying for, like social welfare, etc. Right? Like, because you have an educated population that is doing amazing things, and I feel like that's where I would allocate that money to hey, let's change our education system, STEMs type stuff. And then I know STEM's the big thing, but also I think there's art, literature, etc. Like, those are important as well.
Yeah,
I think we kind of talked about it.
I don't know why they're not doing it anyway.
Right.
You vaccinate everybody, you end world hunger, you take away the need, and then all of those societal ills lessen a whole lot. When people have the basics taken care of, those other things will always happen, but
the pyramid, right?
Need is just huge. And if we can get rid of that, lessen it.
Community wise, I would say not that I don't have respect for it now, but a better schooling system where
right on
teachers who I think they're paid pretty well now would be even better paid. And facilities would be, nothing would be skimped on there, because I have Bezos money.
Chuck, I like this. I like this guy, Chuck. I'm a teacher.
Yeah, right.
He's already giving me a raise. He's already giving me a raise.
Great. An extreme emphasis on education because I say this take it from a dummy. I didn't finish college. I dicked around and, like I said, I ultimately ended up working at a gas station, and I had to take the hard road, to get, a career going. So, what I would do is really invest in education and the importance of it, and not just traditional education, but trade education.
Trade.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Plumbing, electricians, things like that.
I told my wife, the weight room at Villa Park High School where I teach is the ex auto shop. I mean, they got the roll up doors and everything. I'm like, what happened to that? That's
right.
That's way better.
Right. It's critical.
This kind of stuff's hard.
Okay.
For me, I don't know.
All right.
Put it in the National Forest System.
Hey, there you go.
There you
fucking
go.
Right on, right? One person. I fucking love that, Mike. I fucking love that. That's badass.
Oh gosh, I would probably sponsor all my girls to be part of a legit travel ball team.
That's what I wrote down. Yep.
That's
and
cool.
Sponsor them in all their softball endeavors, because what's crazy about Pioneer is the talent is there. It's just they a lot of the times they're just missing little bits and pieces to the overall perfect athlete. It could be commitment. It could be the resources to play, on a credible travel ball team. It could be missing a dad. It could, what I mean? Like, the full athlete just sometimes isn't there. Sometimes it is. We get lucky, but not all 9 are, for softball. And so
it seems like somebody would write a blank check by now.
No,
really. That seems very logical what you're saying. It's not.
Yeah.
Education. It would be an education. The first thing to do, if you want to make a difference, is reduce class size. That would be national, 20-to-1 mandate in elementary school, and maybe even in high school if that was possible. If the money wasn't an issue, that would be the deal.
Larry, the kids feel good when they have to sit at my desk because there's no more chairs. They think they're badass.
Yeah. Not okay. That's not okay. It's not okay that you have 42 in your class. No,
Going
that's
through
not
my
okay.
drawers.
It's not okay. And
Stealing
I would hire, an army of social workers and stick them in the schools.
There you go.
No police, but social workers.
Oh boy.
Where should the money go, Chuck?
Well, there are a lot of people that need money, that need help and need money, but I'm afraid that a lot of it is given out without any restrictions to it. In other words, I see here where I live, they constantly have giveaways with food and clothing and stuff, but there doesn't seem to be any. In other words, you just walk up and say, "Yeah, I'll take that," and you walk away with it, which maybe keeps the people that really need it. They don't get as much as they should. Some people are getting it that maybe shouldn't have it at that time. Yeah, right. I would love to. To me, I live better now than I ever thought I would. So I have, if I had a ton of money, yeah, I would give it away to people. But I would make sure that I would think I would be personally involved to make sure that the right people got it.
So I thought about this, and I want to stay in like the athlete world, because I got to be a part of a program at Mizzou that was called the Total Person Program. And basically what we did, it was like a women's initiative and a men's initiative, and I worked with the women's, and we did different workshops in terms of just like social development. We talked about like what it looks like to go to a party, and if you're with one of your friends and they drink too much, like just different aspects in terms of yes. And I feel like that was the first time I'd ever seen it done with like those type of people. And
I would love to see that. Do you have documentation from that? I think that would be super.
I'm pretty sure I do. I can look to see, because we did. I'm sure I do.
Because we're still around. Chuck and I are around kids all the time. I mean, it's huge.
Well, I know, like even the men, even to think it's so like predominant even now. But I remember one of the events that the men had, they brought in and had the cops talk to. They had the cops talk to the men and just how to like hold yourselves accountable, and just I don't know. We were predominantly for sports of institution, and so we had men or head coaches sit and bring their wives, and so I didn't get to see this, but the feedback is they had athletes ask the wives certain questions and the men couldn't answer, but they kind of just got to see then a relationship between a married couple and what that looks like. And so I think if I had the means to be able to do something like that and get a better understanding, or just like an open dialogue of different people being able to come in and talk to these athletes about different aspects of just like life in general, that's something that I would really want to do, because everything that we did, I feel like the feedback was so strong. Like we talked about vulnerability and shame and being a female athlete and what that looks like. And so that's something that I would want to do.
Man, that seems super worthwhile. That's super worthwhile.
I think would be on my heart to implement.